Great. Welcome everybody to Gentle Flow Yoga at Berkshire Yoga Dance and Fitness. My name is Rachael Plaine and it's Monday, August 17th, and we're here for our Gentle Flow class. I was just mentioning for those of you that are online with me now live that we're going to use blocks if you'd like them to come into a variation of triangle pose at some point during our practice, but if you don't have those, don't worry, you can get by without them. But if you do have a block nearby or something to raise the ground up, that could be helpful. And of course, if you want anything to sit on, a blanket, a bolster, anything to pad your knees, you can grab that as well. So we'll start with a centering, a seated centering and meditation. We'll move into our warm-up, our standing flow, and have plenty of time to relax at the end. So when you're ready, you can come onto your mat if you're not there yet and just take a comfortable seat and we'll get going. All right. Great. Okay. So coming to seated, you can bring your hands down to your lap, and I invite you to take whatever props you need to feel comfortable. So if you want to come sit up on anything, a blanket, a bolster, a block, you could do that. If it's uncomfortable to have both your legs crossed, you could always unwind one leg or both legs, so making any adjustments you need to. And we'll start with our seated centering. So close your eyes, bring your hands to your knees, and just take some time to find a rock forward and back. So cup your knees with your hands, just kind of sway. So not even a cat and cow, but just a whole body shift forward with the torso, shift back with the torso. So just a little bit of adjusting to kind of come into the lower half of the body to feel your pelvis, your sitting bones, your thighs, your legs, your hips, your low back. So we're holding our knees and we're just finding that gentle sway forward and back, seated, before we come to stillness to take our meditation and breath work to begin. And then let that rock come to stillness where you're sitting up really, really tall and you're feeling the ribs reach up off the hips and the head reach up off the shoulders. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through an open mouth. And do that again. Breathe in as big as you can through the nose. Exhale through an open mouth. And one more time, big breath. And exhale, release. Good. Breathe in through your nose. Pause at the top of the breath when you get there. All the breath in. As you exhale, holding the knees around your back, so curl the tail under, scoop the navel in, draw the belly button way back towards the spine, chin to chest, tailbone tucks under the pelvis. Hold the breath out. Pause there in cat. Take a deep inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Breathing in through the nose, float forward on the sit bones, lift the belly, the chest, the throat, the face, the collarbones expand, the throat lifts, the face lifts up. Exhaling through the nose, round your back. Press the breath out through the nose, hollow out the belly, tuck the tail, scoop the belly and navel in, tailbone under, chin to chest. And then inhale, open up. So you float forward on the sitting bones. You press the tailbone back, press the front body forward, open the throat, the face, look up. And exhale, round everything under, big rounded cat back. Lengthen to come up, reach the shoulders up to your ears. And exhale, roll them back and down. Do that again, inhale, lift them up. Exhale, back and down. And last time, big lift. And exhale, release. And then when you're ready, open up the palms at the backs, the hands touch the lap. As you exhale, drop your chin, just pause there, relax your face. Send your breath and awareness into the back of the neck. Take a deep inhale. And full exhale. As you breathe in, let the right ear roll over to the right shoulder, open up the left side of the neck. And exhale to float your chin back down towards your chest. Relax your face. Go the other way. Inhale, ear to shoulder. Exhale through center. Just one more time each side. So we're tuning in to the neck, the tops of the shoulders, maybe the very upper portion of the back. Keep going, chin to chest. And then last time, other side. So just really loosening up that area, releasing any tension there. Back through center. And then eventually lift the head up, keep your eyes closed. Breathe out where you are. And then start to deepen your breath. Breathe into the lowest part of the belly, the middle part of the ribs, the upper portion of the heart and chest. Long, tall, deep breath. Exhale, relax the chest, soften the rib cage, relax the belly. And then continue that. So you're in a Dirga 3-part breath now. Breathing in and out through the nose. Sitting up tall and still. And beginning to drop into your practice, beginning to drop into your body. Beginning to connect to your heart. Beginning to deepen the breath, to connect more fully to the breath, creating this intentional, active breath, deeply breathing in, completely breathing out. Letting the breath and oxygen and vitality of each in-breath and out-breath start to increase energy, increase your ability to be present in this moment, conscious, awake, aware, open to sensation, open to this collective feeling of community of those that we're practicing with today, even if we're not in the same space together. Being connected to whatever space that you're practicing in. Noticing how it feels to be sitting on your mat or blanket or bolster or block. The temperature of the room that you're in. Feelings in your body, places that might feel sensitive or tender, places that might feel strong or open. So really tuning in to this moment, right here and right now. And allowing this practice to be a way for us to bring in more light to our own lives and to others' lives, to spread more joy and peace for ourselves, for others. To bring more presence and awareness into our own lives and those we come in contact with. And then the next time that you breathe in, just float your hands together to meet in front of your heart to a prayer position or Anjali Mudra. Let your palms touch in front of the heart. And as you exhale, bow your head to yourself, honoring your body, honoring your heart, honoring this practice and this sacred time that we have to be together, to breathe, to find peace, to strengthen our bodies, to quiet our minds. And then the next time that you breathe in, slide your hands up towards the ceiling. You can lengthen the arms, lift the face, look up, open the eyes if you'd like. And exhale, goddess the arms, spread the fingers wide, reach the palms forward and bring the elbows all the way down to your waist. Shoot the fingertips out and up to Tadasana or mountain arms where they stretch shoulder width apart and you can look up through the hands. Exhale, elbows draw in and down, palms shine forward, fingers wide, elbows and upper arms into the body. Again, inhale out and up. So we're linking breath and movement. So it's a gentle flow class. Exhale, release, meaning that we're flowing with our breath. So oftentimes we'll be taking one breath per movement. Inhale, lift, interlace your fingers, release your pointer, stretch the ribs off the hips. Exhale up and over to the right to just a seated half moon. And then inhale through center. Exhale, stretch the other way. And there's some times that we'll hold too. Inhale through center. Exhale, stretch. Inhale through center. And exhale, stretch. Good. Inhale through center. Exhale, release the hands behind. Drop the chin. Interlace your fingers. Press the fist down to the ground so you can open up the heart. Squeeze the backs of the shoulders together. Press the heart forward. Spread the collarbones apart. And exhale, release the chin, release the hands, and roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Just unravel the legs for a moment so you can tip back on the sit bones. Hands can come behind you, and take a few windshield wipers back and forth to loosen up the hips, the knees, the low back. Good. So I know sitting cross-legged can be a challenge sometimes for many of us. So just releasing any tension that might have gathered there in the hips. And then when the knees come to the ceiling, wiggle the feet hip width. The toes are in line with the heels, and the heels are in line with the hips. And the fingers come to face the hips. Pressing into the hands, just open up the heart. So you come into a modified version of reverse table, strengthening and stretching the wrists, opening the chest and heart. And if you want a little more heat or vigor, pick the hips up a little bit, or pick the hips all the way up to thigh height, chin to chest. Or the head could gently tip back. A few breaths. Take another deep inhale. And as you exhale, release the hips. Open the knees. Wiggle the feet together. Take a hold of the ankles. Sit up tall in bound angle, Baddha Konasana. Lengthen your spine, head away from tail. Deep breath in. And as you exhale, hinge at the hips. Pitch your body forward. Either hold the ankles or place the hands on the feet, or even press the forearms down to the calves. Long spine, or the head can bow towards the heart. Couple breaths. Good. And then either lengthen or roll up to seated. Take a hold of your ankles. Press the heart up through the arm bones. Just squeeze the backs of the shoulders together. Lift the face, look up, little back bend. And release towards neutral. Long, tall spine. Hands slide along the shins to catch the knees. Knees can come back towards each other. And then we'll come to tabletops. You can swing the legs around and come on to all fours. And when you get to all fours, just bring the hands a little further forward to the shoulders and start to circle your hips like you've done before if we've practiced together. Just these nice big hip circles. And you're welcome to pad your knees with anything if you'd like. And then as the hips come to the back, reverse the circles, move them the other way. Good. And then as the hips come to the back, take a wide knee child's, tuck the big toes together, separate the knees, dip the hips, let the belly fall between the thighs, let the head relax, and then take a gentle sway side to side. So massage the forehead, wag the hips, wiggling here. Good. And then start to pause in stillness. Reach the hands a little further forward to really stretch the waist, the armpits, the ribs, the low back. With arms extended forward, roll through a cat pose. Bring the knees underneath the hips. Keep rolling forward till you come to that variation of up dog where we keep the knees on the mat. We open the belly, the heart, the chest. You can even take the head back and then bring the hips towards the heels. And we'll do that a couple times just to keep warming up the spine, the knees, the hips, the shoulders. So taking plenty of time to make sure that the body is nice and warm and loose and lubricating all the joints, warming up the muscles, the bones. So another time or so, undulating forward through cat, all the way towards that up dog with knees on the ground and head comes back. And then back towards child. And then we'll take it onto our belly. So the next time that you roll forward, You can just come all the way down to rest, and we'll make a little pillow for the head like we've done before. Stack the palms or the fists, bend the knees, and then start to rotate the ankles to begin with. So just rolling the ankles one way in one direction. Roll the ankles the other way in the other direction. And then start to stir both the shins around in one direction. Loosen your knees, loosen your low back, your hips. Good. Then stir your shins the other way. And let the legs come long. Lift just the right leg up a few inches to the back of the room to get a little more length in the hip flexor and strengthen your low back. Exhale, place the right leg down. Inhale, left leg lifts, reach it to the back of the room. Exhale, set it down. Bring your hands back near your chest. Anchor your pubic bone hip points, pressing down into the hands and reaching the tailbone towards the heels with your elbows perched up towards the air. Reach the heart forward so you can come up to a little baby cobra. Lift up, look forward, just a little bit. Doesn't have to be big, small little cobra. Exhale, release, back, down. Now bring your hands out wider and forward a little bit. Come on your tented fingertips. And inhale, lift, elbows still up. Maybe you come up a little higher. And exhale, release. Bring the hands even further out and forward. Press into fingertips, lengthen, lift, open up. The legs might even separate a little bit so you have wider legs. And exhale, release. Come back to one regular cobra. So line the legs up parallel, hip width distance, hands back near chest. Last time here, pick it up, anchor the pubic bone, preach the heart forward, lift up, open the chest, maybe take the head back. And exhale, release. Take it back to a tabletop, press into your hands, come all the way up to all fours. Bring the hands back underneath the shoulders and just take a couple hip wags side to side. So wagging the hips left to right. From this tabletop position, bring the hips above the knees. Draw the navel up and in. Exhale your breath out, round to a cat back. And then inhale to a cow back, drop the belly, lift the tail, lift the heart, look up. Do that again. Exhale, curl your back, round your spine, navel up and in, tail and head drop. Inhale, belly drops, tailbone lifts, heart reaches forward. One more time, exhale, curl. And inhale to cow. Let's lengthen to a tabletop back. So you're in all fours, long straight spine. I'm just gonna turn this way. Send the right leg back to a 3-limb table. Bend the right knee toe up towards the ceiling and circle your knee around one way. And then circle your knee the other way. And then bring the leg out to the side so you can come on the sole of the foot if that's accessible. So toe forward, heel back. From here, you could always pad your knee if you wanted to, if it's sensitive. We're gonna come up towards a gate pose. So walk the hands back towards that bottom leg and then come all the way up to your hip. So just pause here for a moment. So again, the foot that's out to the side, parallel if it can be on the sole of your foot. If not, it could be a little turned out. So holding here, slide the right hand down the right leg, take the left arm out and up above the head to come to just a traditional gate pose. Take a deep breath. And exhale, release that arm out to T. This is gonna be a little different. You're gonna bring this left hand down and the right arm, so you can touch the ground or if you have a block, grab it. The right arm's gonna scoop down, so you almost curl the back, scoop down, and then scoop it up as you press the pelvis forward and open the ribs, almost like a little back bend, look up. And exhale, release that arm down, scoop it back down. Come back to that top of right thigh and left arm comes out and up all the way, big stretch. And then do that again. Left arm out and up. It tips down towards the ground or the back. You scoop the right arm down and around, and then press the pelvis forward. Lift the ribs, open up. Exhale, scoop back down. Bring that hand to your thigh. Let the left arm come out and up. Big cartwheel up and over the head. And last time, left arm out and up. Right arm scoops down. Ribs come down, and then pelvis presses forward, ribs press forward, heart opens up, look up. Exhale, release. Hand comes to long leg, left arm out and up. Last time to gate, to open up. And exhale, open arms to T, shoulder height, hold. Bring hands to hips, release hands down towards the ground. And then bring that leg back to meet the other leg. Let's send the left leg back, 3-limb table. Pause here, bend the knee, toe up, and circle the knee around. And again, if the knees get tired, you can grab a blanket or something to pad the knees with, or even double over your mat. And then bring that knee out the other way. Good. And then this time as the knee comes out, you'll come on the sole of the foot, the toes forward, the heels back. Pause here. Walk the hands back towards the leg. Pick the shoulders up above the hips. Bring the hands to the hips and pause. Make sure that long leg is right off of your hip, so your heel or ankle is in line with the hip. Bring your left hand down the left leg, right arm out and up. Big side stretch to gate pose, opening the ribs and the waist. Open arms to shoulder height, and then you're going to take that tip. So the right arm comes down, but this is different. The left arm is going to scoop down, and as it comes around, you press the pelvis forward, press the pubic bone forward, open the heart, look up. And now scoop that arm back down. So the hips come back a little bit as the left hand comes to the left leg and the right arm comes out and up. Good. Inhale, arms to T. Exhale, right hand to the ground, left arm scoops down. It comes all the way around, then you press your front body forward and you take that little back bend, look up. Exhale, release. Again, you could have a block on that bottom hand. Left hand to left leg, right arm out and up. Big scoop over the head. One more time, open to T. Exhale, left arm scoops down, comes around the head, pelvis presses forward, ribs press forward. Exhale, release. Last time, hand comes to thigh, other arm out and up, lift up. Now arms come shoulder height to pause, so reorganize your body here. Feel how it is to be upright. Bring hands to hips, hinge at hips to touch the ground, and then just slide that left leg back to meet the right leg. Good. Stay where you are for a moment. I'm just going to move my blocks to this side. So from where you are in tabletop, we'll either come to puppy or down dog. So curl the toes under. If you want to keep it gentle, keep the hips high, melt the chest, and bring the chin or the forehead down. If you're ready for a down dog, bring the hands a little further forward to the shoulders, toes curled under, knees rise, and hips press back away from wrists. If you're in this variation of dog, just go ahead and pedal out. If you're in puppy, you can stay still or feel free to wag the hips or invite any movement. Just a few breaths to wiggle into whatever pose that you chose to be in. And if you're in dog with me, our feet are hip width, our hands are shoulder width. Take a bend in the knees. You can tilt your pelvis and tail up towards the ceiling, stretching the hips back away from the wrist, trying to bring the ears in line with the arm bones and lengthen from your tail to your head. Fingers spread wide. Press the mat forward and away from you to get that traction in your spine. You're in a bent knee, down dog. And then start to gently walk your feet to your hands or your hands back to your feet, or if you're in puppy, just kind of come up to stand and forward fold. You'll let the head hang and take a head shake, yes. And a head shake, no. Let's come to one Ardha Uttanasana, so a half forward fold. Everybody bring your hands up to your shins. Press your head away from the tail, lengthen and hold. So you could stay right here. If it's not comfortable to get a flat back here, you could come even higher up, right above the knees or right below the knees. So lengthening flat back, or Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold, deep breath in. As you exhale, melt over the legs again, bend the knees. Good. From here, roll up to stand, one vertebrae at a time. Head is the last to lift. At the top, big sun breath, lift the arms. Good. Exhale, slide your hands down to prayer. Maybe close your eyes. Drop your tailbone down towards your heels, reach the head up towards the ceiling, lengthen your low back and lengthen the waist, ribs up away from hips. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, release the arms. So similar how we began, sun breath, interlace fingers, release pointer, stretch up towards the ceiling. And then stretch the arms up and over to the right as you bump your hips to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale, up and over, hips bump the other way, arms stretch away. Good, inhale through center. Let's take one heart opener here, so bring the hands behind, drop the chin, interlace your fingers. Press the fist down like we've been doing, squeeze the backs of the shoulders together, open up the chest, look up. And exhale, release the gaze, release the hands, bend the knees, bend the hips, sit into Utkatasana as you sweep the arms forward. So you're in a chair pose here for a moment, long line from hips to head. Deep breath in. As you exhale, stretch the arms alongside the body. Bring the head in line with the tail to flat back. Now release the arms, stand up, Tadasana, breathing in to lengthen. As you exhale, bend the knees and swan dive over the legs. On your next inhale, lengthen your spine back to Ardha Uttanasana, hands to shins, straight back, straight legs, straight arms if you can. And exhale, melt. You can soften the knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Exhale, hands to prayer. Eyes maybe closed for just one breath. Take a deep inhale. And exhale, release the arms. Step up to the top of the mat if you're not already there. Take one more sun breath for now. Exhale to swan dive, either straight legs or bent knees, whatever feels better on your body. And inhale, lengthen, flat back, Ardha Uttanasana. Press the head away from the tail. Exhale, deep fold. So hands could be on the ground or on your blocks right now. Bring the right leg back to a low lunge. So hands on ground or blocks. Blocks if you're using them on any height. So you choose if you want them higher up to give more space or lower down to the ground. Bend the back knee, lift the heart just to warm up the legs and the hips a little bit. And then lift the hips, straighten the legs, drop the head towards your shin. Do that twice more, warming up the knees, bend the knee, the back knee just hovers above the ground, look forward. Exhale, lift the hips, drop the head towards the shin. Okay, one more time. Bend the knees, lift up, look up. Exhale, lift the hips. Now from here, bend the front knee, keep the back leg straight. So here's where you could use the ground or the blocks. So you're gonna walk your hands or your blocks. If you're using blocks, you'd walk both the blocks over to the right, and you're gonna spin your right heel down. So it's almost like you're setting up for warrior two. So the legs, the back heel's down, the front heel's in line with the arch of the back foot. My hands are on the blocks or my hands are on the ground. And if you're on the ground, just be on your tented fingers. Hands are off the mat and they're towards the right corner, but off the mat. Hips are back and you're stretching almost like a down dog. And you're gonna hold here. So if I was on the blocks, same thing, it's just helping to bring the ground up. Good. From here, bring your right hand to your right hip and start to maybe straighten the front leg. Maybe straighten the front leg. Maybe not. If you can't, don't worry. And now from here, with this straight front leg or straightish front leg, you can move your hand or the block back towards the foot. And if you can hop that block or hand over your left leg, you're going to put it behind. And now this is taking us into triangle. You're going to tuck your pelvis, your left hip, underneath your bum. So kind of press the left bum and the left hip forward. Roll the heart forward. Legs are straight if they can be. You're on your block or the ground with the left hand, and that left hand's behind the left leg. From here, maybe lift the right arm. So I'm on the block and I have the block high. If you didn't have the block, it would be the same thing. That left hand would be to the ground and you're working towards a straight left leg. And you're breathing in triangle. Good. Take a deep breath in and full breath out. With all your strength that you can gather, you're gonna firm up the legs and come on up. So firm up the legs, let the top arm pull you up, and then dance right over that back leg. Backhand to back leg, ribs open, look up. Good. Inhale, open arms shoulder height. Turn your toes forward, your heels back. You're in a wide-legged stance now, so look at your feet. Get your toes in line with each other, have them parallel. Toes forward, heels back, short edges of the mat lined up with the outer edges of the feet, and then lift the arms, big sun breath. Exhale, swan dive either halfway to catch your legs or all the way to touch the ground. If you get dizzy or uncomfortable upside down, choose a flat back with the hands to the legs. Otherwise, you can be in a deep fold if you'd rather. From here, let's walk our hands to the right. And you're going to take your left hand to your right leg. And that right hand, if you want to, kind of free it up and reach it forward towards that front corner. Come up on your tented fingers if you could reach the ground. If not, grab your block. If not, bring your hand to your leg. And from here, we're just kind of like perk the right elbow up in the air and rotate, almost like you're going to dip underneath that arm. So kind of pull yourself through. Do a little twist here and pause. And you can let the hips come with you. So a lot of times we square the hips, we keep them even, but it's okay if the hips dip to the right here, sway to the right. That's okay. The hips can come with you. The pelvis doesn't have to stay static or fixed in that typical position it would for a fold. So let the hips come with this deep twist. And then release, walk the hands through center. Bend the knees. We'll get to the other side when we're on the other side. So bring your hands up to your thighs. And then press off your thighs to lengthen your spine. You're going to come all the way up to stand. Take a big sun breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open, arms shoulder height. Spin your left foot forward. That's your original front foot. Bend your left knee. Look out over your left fingers. You're in Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Take a deep breath in. And full breath out. On an inhale, let's take one more reverse triangle. So straighten the legs, dance back, lift up, look up. And exhale all the way to side angle. Bend the elbow, bring the forearm to the thigh, bend the front knee, reach the top arm above the ear. Hold there a couple breaths. On an inhale, let's take it back to that reverse triangle again. Straighten the legs, breathe in, lift up, look up. And exhale just to Warrior 2 this time. So bend the front knee and open the arms and hold your Warrior 2. So the front knee is in line with the front ankle if you can, and you're creating like about a 90-degree angle. Look out over the front fingers. Take a deep breath. And exhale, slow cartwheel to touch the ground or grab your blocks. One arm, the other arm. Pluck the back heel up off the ground to close the hips and drop the back knee. So hands on the ground or hands up on blocks, wherever you feel comfortable. The hips are dipped forward. The knee again is above the ankle. The front shin is long and tall, growing out of the mat. So it's perpendicular with the mat. So like a letter T from the shin to the mat. Holding here. And then if you want, you're going to pull the hips back, straighten the front leg, flex the foot, and you keep the hands where they are, just stretch back a little bit. And then roll forward. And do that again, stretch back. And roll forward. And as you're stretching back, you could flex your front foot. So you can't see my feet here because of the blocks, but as I stretch back, that front foot kind of flexes up. Good, and roll forward. And now you're gonna hold here, just pause, pressing the right hand down to the ground of the block. Bring your left hand to your left thigh. Press into that left thigh, almost like you're gonna slide it forward and then roll the ribs towards that left leg. So you're coming into a twist, bottom hand on the ground of the block. Hold. If you want a little more, take that left arm, lift it up towards the ceiling, hold. Deep breath. And exhale, release the hand. From here, back out of the hips to slide the front leg back to meet the back leg. Lower onto your belly to give yourself a little rest. Make that pillow for the head again. Stack the palms or fists. Knees bend, toes up, ankles roll. Ankles roll the other way. Start to circle the shins one way. And start to circle the shins the other way. Take your legs long. As you inhale, lift the right leg up and back to the back of the room. Exhale, set it down. Inhale, lift the other leg up. Exhale, set it down. Bring hands back near the chest for cobra. Anchor the pubic bone and hips. Press into hands, either baby, medium, or full cobra, your choice. Lift up. And exhale, release back down. I'm gonna come back to tabletop. Take it all the way to child's. Hips back towards heels. Big toes could touch. Knees could widen, or knees stay hip width. You'll hold there for a few breaths in child's. Breathing into the low back, the middle back, the upper back. And exhale, releasing the upper back, the middle back, the lower back. Good. Shift to tabletop, all fours. Bring the wrists back underneath the shoulders, knees back underneath the hips, couple hip whacks. And then we're gonna take the whole thing again from the other side. So the hips are above the knees, toes curl under. You either walk it out to puppy if you wanna stay gentle and take a little rest, hips high, chin or forehead to mat, or take it up to dog if you're ready for that. So stretching back for that full body stretch. If you're in dog or puppy, feeling free to pedal out or move or adjust. And then finding your full expression of the pose, whichever posture you chose to be in, seeing if you could just be still for a few breaths. And when you're ready, step feet to hands or hands to feet, as many steps as you'd like. Feet come hip width, body relaxes over legs. Head shake yes, head shake no. Head hangs heavy, lengthen to Ardha Uttanasana, hands to shins, press head away from tail. Exhale, deep fold with soft knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up to stand. You're doing great. Good. Palms touch. Exhale through prayer. Maybe close the eyes just to recenter, to reset, to notice how it feels to be standing upright. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, release the arms. Whole thing on the other side. Sun breath, hold the top. Interlace fingers, release your pointer. Steeple pose. Stretch up and over to the left. Standing half moon or Ardha Chandrasana to look up. Inhale, open. Exhale, stretch up and over the other way. Inhale, open. Exhale, release. Hands behind. Interlace fingers, drop chin to chest. Press fists down, squeeze back the shoulders together. Open the collarbones, look up. Exhale, release the gaze. Release the hands, sit the hips back like you're gonna go into that chair and reach the arms above the head. So you're in chair pose, Utkatasana to hold right here. Take a deep in breath. And exhale, flat back, bringing the head in line with the hips. Release, Tadasana, stand up tall, mountain pose, press the feet down. Exhale, swan dive, bent or straight legs. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, long spine from head to hips. Exhale, deep fold, soften your knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive, palms touch. Exhale back to prayer. Eyes can close for a moment to pause or steady gaze. Just take one deep in breath. And exhale, release your arms. Step up to the top. We're about to take that standing flow. Inhale, lift. And exhale, straight legs or bent knees, swan dive. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, so you lengthen. You bring your hands to your shins or your fingertips to the mat. So we're flowing with our breath. Exhale, release, flushing out all the toxins, getting the body moving. Step the left leg back to lunge. So use your blocks if you want or not. So strengthening the legs here in our lunge pose. Soften the back knee, breathe in, float the heart forward, look up. And exhale, lift the hips, straighten the legs, drop the head towards the shin. And then do that again, bend the knees, lift the heart, look up. Exhale, lift the hips, straighten the legs, head towards shin. Good. Again, bend the knees, inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, lift the hips. From here, bend just the front knee, keep the back leg straight. So here's that kind of different transition and way to get into our triangle pose. So let's actually start this time by spinning the back heel down. So we get our body, our lower body set up first. And then the right hand's gonna come inside the right leg, and you could have your blocks. Mine are on the other side, so I'm gonna skip it. But if you have your blocks and you want them, grab them. And then walk both the hands off the mat to the left corner. So you're almost like in a down dog, and that right knee is really bent, and you're anchoring through the back foot, and you're on the ground, you're on the blocks, wherever you need to be, and you're gonna get that deep stretch in your hips right here. Holding here, hands on the ground or hands on the block. And then if you can, you're gonna take your left hand, so the hand that's kind of the same as that back straight leg, and you're gonna bring that left hand to your hip. Okay, and if you can, you're gonna start to straighten the right leg. And you might need to scooch the right hand back a little bit. And now we're gonna take our hips and our pelvis and our bottom and kind of tuck it underneath us. So press that right hip and bum forwards. The pelvis comes forward and the chest starts to roll open. Again, you could be on a block here. And if you can, you're gonna take your block or take your hand and just jump it over the leg so it comes behind you. Roll the hip and sitting bone forward. Open the heart and chest. Look up. Front leg is straight if it can be. And then finally, you lift the left arm. So many of us are gonna wanna block underneath this bottom hand, or if you don't have a block, you could bring your hand up to your shin, because you really wanna get that stretch from your pubic bone along midline to sternum out head, and you really wanna get the rib cage above the bottom leg. So we don't wanna kind of be collapsed here. You're getting space, you're pressing the pelvis forward, you're lifting up in triangle, Trikonasana. Now let the top arm pull you up. Squeeze your legs to lift you up, and then dance back up over that leg. Good. Inhale, arm shoulder height. Turn toes forward, heels back. So just reset the hips. Wrists are right above the ankles. Just take a moment to land here. You're doing great. Inhale, lift the arms. It's a little different. You're doing really good though. Exhale, swan dive. Touch the ground or the block. So just take a little break, let the hips reset, let the back reset. You could be in a deep fold, or you could have your hands up to your legs to be in a flat back. And now we're gonna take that variation that we did on the other side to get a little twist and a little back bend. So we're gonna start by walking our hands or our blocks over to the left. And if you can't reach the ground, do not worry. You could be way up on your thigh here, or you're down on the ground. Wherever you're at is perfect. Walk, 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 and then if you can, right hand to left leg, and I'm scooching it underneath, like behind my left hand. So I'm touching the leg, and then that left arm's kind of free, so I can reach it forward, get on my tented fingers, or not, hold your leg if you can't reach, and then kind of bend the elbow up in the air and twist your body. So you're pulling through and rolling the ribs open and taking that kind of little back bend and twist and hold. Again, if you can't reach the ground, it's no problem. Bring that hand to your hip, bring it to your leg, bring it wherever you can hold on to. Take a few breaths. Good, release that twist. Walk back through a neutral position where the hands are back, between the legs.
hanging off the shoulders or on the legs to a flat back. Just hang out here or lengthen here if you're in that flat back. And then bend the knees and bring your hands to your thighs. Press off the thighs, lengthen the spine, tail away from head to come all the way up to stand. One last sun breath. Inhale up. And exhale, open. Just a couple more standing poses before we take it to the mat. So the right foot turns forward, heel in line with arch of back foot. Right knee bends, warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2, gaze, focal point over the front middle finger. So this is a good hip opener, good way to strengthen the legs, build our confidence and our strength. Take a deep breath in and full breath out. Keep the legs where they are, tip the upper body back, reverse warrior, back hand touches the leg, top arm lifts, ribs open, look up. And then arms open, shoulder height, front elbow bends, forearm comes to thigh, big stretch to side angle. Let's take it up to a reverse triangle. That's what we did on the other side. So straighten the legs and dance up and back over straight legs, reverse triangle. Now last time, warrior two, so bend the front knee, just find that hold. You're doing awesome. Pause, look out over the front fingers, deep breath. And exhale, slow cartwheel, one arm, the other arm. Pivot on the ball of the back foot. Release the back knee down. So options, you could stay right here. If you're feeling like, wow, this is a lot of moving today, I just want to be still, you could pause, you could close your eyes and hold. If the moving is feeling good and you want to get back into the hips and the hamstring like we did on the other side, just stretch the hips back, flex the front foot, pull the hips back so you can kind of drop the head towards the shin. And then roll forward over the sole of the front foot, bend the knee, dip the hips, look up, breathe in. Exhale, pull it back. Inhale, roll it forward. And one more time, exhale, pull back. Inhale, roll forward. So now we're gonna stay. We're all in this forward position. Press into your left hand or block. Bring the right hand up to your thigh. You're gonna press into your thigh and just press it forward to kind of roll the ribs over towards the right, towards that front bent knee. You could stay or lift the right arm. Take a breath. Deep inhale. Exhale, release the hand. Like we did on the other side, back out of the hips. Draw the front leg back to meet the back leg. Melt to come all the way to your belly. Take a little break. Bring hands underneath forehead, bend knees, toes up. Circle your ankles. And circle the ankles the other way. Good. Start to spin the shins around one way to loosen up the back, the low back, the thighs, the knees. And circle the shins the other way. Good. Let the legs come long. This time we're going to stay on our belly. Flatten out your hands, the palms touching the ground, and then the other palms touching the top of that hand. Turn onto the right side of the face. Bring your left knee out to half frog. So the knee comes about hip height. You're on your belly, and you can be turned facing that knee, or on your forehead, or looking away. And maybe close the eyes. And just rest here for a moment. You're doing great. So maybe trying some new things today. Just noticing how you feel in your body. Starting to relax and soften and let go. Take another deep breath in. As you exhale, slide that left leg down to meet the straight leg, and then come to the other side so you can turn the head back down and bring the right knee out to half frog. Once you get in there, either stay on the left side of the face, come back onto the forehead, or turn the head away. Couple breaths. And take another deep breath in. As you exhale, lengthen the bent leg down to meet the straight leg. Let's come back to one last child's pose. Bring the hands back. Press yourself back, hips to heels. You might want to let the belly rest on the thighs this time, the chest rest on the thighs, or have the knees wide with big toes touching, arms extend, or perhaps maybe bringing the arms alongside the body to let the backs of the hands touch the ground and the palms open, and hold. Good. Bring your hands back near the shoulders. Either roll up or lengthen up to sit on your heels if that's comfortable, if not in a high kneel. We'll do one more seated thing before we come to the ground. So just take your hips over to the right. So hips are to the right and legs are to the left. You can keep your legs just as they are, or you could take your top foot, your left foot, and like tuck it on top of the right foot. Looks like this from the back, you can see. Okay, so legs to the side and then maybe taking that left foot on top of the right. Sit up really tall. Twist towards the right so you can bring your left hand to the right knee. Other hand out for stability. Lengthen up and you can bring that hand behind a little bit. Reach the heart open. Look to the side or over the back shoulder. Good, unwind. You're gonna pedal right through center, so kind of walk up through a tabletop. Unravel your feet if they were tucked. Bring the knees back towards each other, and then sink the hips over to the left or the other side. So either the knees and the shins and the feet just drape where they are, or if you can, you're gonna take that top foot and kind of just tuck it on top of the bottom foot. Kind of nuzzles into the arch of the foot maybe. Sit up tall. Right hand to bottom knee, torso turns away from knees, and you're using the hand on the knee and the hand on the ground to help lift you up and rotate. Look to the side or over the back. So wringing out any last bit of tension in the back, in the hips, in the body. Having that steady gaze or focal point to fix your eyes on, or closing the eyes. Good, unravel. This time you're just gonna take your weight right into that bottom hip and help swing the legs around. And then let the soles of the feet find the ground, maybe widen them, and just take a couple windshield wipers. We're about to come on our back, but just take some time to kind of wiggle away any last bit of tension that might be still held in the hips or the back, just rinsing that out. And then let your knees come up towards the ceiling, wiggle the feet to hip width. Lengthen the arms up. If you want anything for Shavasana, grab that, because we're going to rest in a moment. Tuck the tail, scoop the belly, come all the way down onto your back. I'm just going to move this out of the way. All the way down. And when you get down, just a nice big stretch. Lengthen the legs. Forward stretch, the arms away. Feel the ribs, the armpits, the hips, the tops of the thighs, the fingertips, the toes. Gather knees up into your body, hold the knees or hold the shins, or wrap the arms around the legs and rock. Place your hands to your knees and circle the knees one way. And circle the knees the other way. Hug the knees into the belly for a moment. Open the knees apart. Slide the hands to the shins. Just hold the ankles, tops of feet, or outer edges of feet. Just take a moment in this reclined bound angle to lengthen the spine and open the hips.
Breathing right into the low back, middle back, the upper back. Exhaling to release the upper back, the middle back, the lower back. Good, you can slide the hands back to the knees to bring them together. Place your feet on the ground, arms out to T. Press into your feet to just take a little pelvic tuck, lift the hips, tuck the pelvis and lower it back down just so you give yourself a little length in the low back. We're about to come to Shavasana, so if you're ready, you're gonna come with me, extend the right leg to the right corner of the mat, left leg to the left corner of the mat. Arms come alongside the body, slightly away, 45 degrees at the armpit, palms open, backs of hands to the ground. If there's any final posture or movement or stretch that your body wants that would help make your practice feel complete, you could take that now. Otherwise, come to rest and close your eyes. Just be here for a moment or so together. As you slip into this final posture of rest, start to let your breath soften. Let your body relax. Feel your mind settle. Notice the peace and presence and vitality and space that you've created within your body and your heart and your mind. Take a moment in stillness and silence to enjoy this rest, to take in whatever you're seeking and prepare to share whatever it is that you'd like to put out into the world. If you have the time and you want to stay in Shavasana longer, you're welcome to stay. Otherwise, just start to deepen your breath so you can feel the breath start to extend to all the edges and corners of your body. As the breath expands and reaches to the depths of your body, maybe bring movement back in any way that would feel good. The fingers, the toes, the hands, the feet, the head. Maybe stretching out or hugging in. And eventually come to either side, to your fetal pose. Knees into belly, arms into chest to rest. And take your time to press yourself up to seated. So pressing the ground away and coming into cross legs for just a moment to close out our practice together. So eyes are closed or a soft, steady gaze, backs of hands to the ground, just as you, or your lap rather, just as you began with your palms open and your spine long. So feeling this radiant, vibrant body filled with love and peace and joy and compassion. And letting this practice be a tool to help us cultivate those feelings for ourselves and share those feelings with others. Take a deep breath in. And full breath out. On your next inhale, let your hands come together to prayer, to seal in your practice and any intention you might have created. And exhale to bow your head to yourself and to your body, honoring yourself, honoring this practice. We'll end on the sound of Om, the sound of community, starting with our letting go breath. Deep breath in through nose. Exhale a sigh. We'll begin. Big breath in. And as your head bows back to yourself, taking one last moment to honor the divinity and the light that shine within you. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you guys again real soon. So take care. If you're on live, I'll hang out if you have any questions. And if you're watching this later or signing off, it's good to see you guys.